What is up, IDP Army and IDP people out there? I guess as people join in, how are you fellas doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm pumped. We are joined with a very special guest today, Adam IDP, Adam Markham of the Big Three. What up?
How you
What
doing?
up? What up? What up? That's me. Thanks for having me, fellas. Yeah, I'm pumped just like you. Ready for more football. I'm gonna see how we're gonna navigate all this Corona weirdness.
No, it's crazy.
Full steam ahead. Head to open water.
That's right. Pray about it. Leave it in
Yeah.
his hands.
Thoughts and prayers with New England and Denver.
Yeah, some leagues we got the option to
Move some guys in and out.
offer a pivot player and I don't know. And I know you were talking about one of the guys asking in one of your leagues, your free league, if we were gonna do that option, and we were like, nah, just make a move now.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, in a free league that I'm running right now, I'm just saying ride it out. I mean, if you want to roll the dice, that's on you. I don't want to have to come back in and fix everybody's rosters and just do all that stuff. That's kind of my stance, but these are all free leagues that I run. In money leagues, yeah, it's a little bit different, and that needs to be spelled out a little bit more clearly, in my opinion, but I'm not overly, I'm not freaking out. I mean, we all knew this was going to happen. I mean, I drafted some fairly diverse teams, but I mean, I will say there are teams I have literally all three of the Titans linebackers. I mean, it's happening. So I'm dealing with that, but I mean, everybody's got to deal with it. I mean, I don't know. I keep seeing people say, "Oh, we should move the whole season to best ball." That's so stupid. Like,
Yeah.
what do all those wins earlier in the season mean then? Like, how do you do that? Why did or the waivers situation would be completely different. I mean, you just can't change the whole season up right in the middle of the season. So,
What have you guys? Are you guys commissioned any leagues?
like I said, I'm just doing
Yeah,
a handful of free ones
Yeah,
for like the listener leagues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a few money leagues. I've opened up waivers. We had everything locked down. Like we had waivers locked down to where you couldn't make any transactions on Sundays. But I just opened those up just because I mean it's just going to get weirder and more of this stuff. So
Yeah.
Fortunately, we weren't affected last week, but this week looks like we likely will be. But yeah, I opened up Sunday waivers to allow people to make moves, and I'll probably let waivers run again tonight, just in case. There's a lot of stuff you kind of got to think about, especially in the money leagues. You're right. I haven't messed with any of the free leagues. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just write it out. You should have some people, or you should not. I mean, you should be prepared. That's kind of my thought process.
Yep.
What's going on, Caleb? Welcome on to the show. Give us some of those questions, my man. Replaced Jewel with Chin over Bostic this week. Thoughts? Yeah. What do you guys think? Chin or Bostic?
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, that's a good problem to have. That's a toss-up. I mean, I'd probably have to go with. Well, wait, who was it? It's Jewel. I mean, it's
Jewel's
probably,
out, so you got to replace one of these guys. I like Chin. I mean, he's been consistently good this season. Bostic as well, but I don't know. Chin's just. I feel more comfortable with Chin at this point. I know he's younger in his career.
Yeah, you definitely drafted him higher. But Bostic, man, I mean, he's getting it done. He's a top 10 linebacker right now.
No.
It's kind of hard to sit that.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at my rankings to see where I have him. Probably too low. I'm an idiot. No, I can't find him. Gosh, I got so many guys to pull out. I got all these New England players.
Yeah, Caleb, thanks for the reminder. I just remembered I have Jewel. I just picked him up in a league and had him starting, so I need to. I got to do some roster management as well this morning.
Yeah, that's tough. I've replaced a lot of guys in my lineups this week, 2 or 3 different times. But so we got a little bit of news and some stuff coming out. Looks like Chase Young is going to play today. How does that make you guys feel? Are you playing Chase Young?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you probably have to, just with how depleted.
Don't much of a choice.
Really, I've got him in a couple of leagues. I'm scared to put him out there. I'm not even gonna lie. He's missed 2 weeks, right? I mean, he missed the week he got hurt, most of it, and then he missed last week. So I don't know. I'm a little worried.
Let's see. I'll tell you who I have to decide between right now. Okay, so Chase Young, I could sit him in favor of someone like Geno Atkins. I'm rolling the dice there.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely go him over Geno Atkins.
Geno Atkins is making his debut today, so excited to see that.
Yeah, I feel like he'll be on like a snap count thingy. I have Chase Young at 22 this week, which is kind of low, but it's just like I just don't trust. I could see them playing him just on third downs or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I could see them taking it easy on him because they're probably gonna get the break speed off of him anyway. Who are they playing? Like the Rams? Let me see.
Yeah, they're playing the
Rams. Yeah, they're gonna get the break speed off of him.
He only needs about 20 snaps though. So
yeah, true. Ryan Kerrigan only needed 20 snaps week 1, but he's had a lot more since then. He ain't done nothing. He's been one of my biggest pain in the butts to own because I've been plugging him in like in flexes and like DL3 and 4 spots. Like, oh, this will be great. Not been great.
Yeah, swing for the fence type play.
All right, gentlemen, I desperately need your help. I need 2 linebackers: Olakun, Schobert, Kazir White. Then I need 2 at DB between Mike Hilton, Marcus May, Donovan Wilson. Sorry for so many question marks, but I'm stuck for some reason. You're all good, man. What are your guys' thoughts? Who of these 2 are you picking out of these 3? I'll defer before I. You got to start Kazir White.
Yeah.
He's been so good.
I've been kind of disappointed in Schobert this season.
Yeah.
That's
kind of where I'm at, too.
I like Olakun a lot, too, though. I think he's due for a nice second half. I mean, he's been good when he's been out there.
Oh, yeah. He's been rock solid.
And Schobert, I mean, I think Schobert's the must start. You just can't not start him.
Can't you, though? Or aren't we getting to that point where you're like,
it's like,
I don't want to. I mean, I'm not advocating for it. My for sure guy is Kazir White. That's like my for sure. And the other one's probably Schobert. If you're on sleeper, though, you should be able to play Olakun and Kazir White in your defensive back spot. So you should try to game that a little bit and maybe
those are tough calls. I'd probably go Olakun and Schobert. I just still, even though White's been good, I still don't trust that.
Play Schobert and be disappointed about it.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Go in a corner and cry.
I want to see what Schobert's done this season. I know it's not much.
It's really not.
15, 16, 16, 10 points. So, I mean, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's not like.
But he hasn't even. Yeah, that's not what we're used to out of him. Last year, he was putting up like 32, 36, 24, 19, 10, 55, 30. I mean, so maybe you could look at it as like Schobert's due, though. And with Miles Jack being a little sketchy, this could be a good spot for him. I'd probably go Kazir White and Schobert on that one. And then for the defensive backs, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm not taking Mike Hilton out at this point.
I got to start Marcus May, I think, too. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't want to touch a Dallas safety. Do you feel safe playing a Dallas safety? Like, if you put one in your lineup, are you going to feel like, yeah, this is going to work out? Like, he's going to play 100% snaps and everything's going to be fine? Or are you like, God, I hope this works out?
Yeah, I don't feel confident in Donovan Wilson. I know he's been pretty solid, though. But still, Marcus May just has I mean, he's in Jamal Adams' role. He has that huge upside, even though he's been a little down since his week 1.
He's had one good week, and then he's just been consistent.
Hey, but that's you're looking for those pop weeks, though. I mean, you're looking for those spikes. So if he's been consistent, and everybody else can be consistent, plus you tack on he has like overall number 1 weekly upside. Marcus May, I'm going Marcus May and Hilton. That's where my head's at. I think we're all in agreement on that one. All right, let's see what we got here. Groin injuries are tricky. I have Chase benched. Give him a week to see how he looks, I think. So that's kind of where I'm at, too. Like, I want to play him, but at this point in the season, I'm trying to mitigate my risk as much as possible to a degree. I'm still trying to play my upside, but that's just scary to me. And remember, he was hurt in training camp, too. It was like a hip. So, I mean, hip, groin, I mean, I don't know.
It depends on who you're
really
starting.
Yeah,
I don't know who you're plugging in.
If you don't have anybody to play, though.
True. But I mean, you've known that he's been on your bench for a week, so you have to have somebody already available that you felt at least somewhat confident in. Like, I mean, Carrie Hyder's been blowing up this year. It's kind of crazy. I found him on
Great.
I found him on 2 dynasty waiver wires this week, like in leagues where people are pretty sharp, like. And somebody else in one of my leagues picked up Mike Hilton this week, and I was like, how did I not? Like, I just need to pay more attention.
Yeah,
I'm just
he's
like, oh
still
my
out
God.
there in leagues.
I know, it's wild.
And they both are.
All right, we got another one here from Travis. It says, help me, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or Bradley McDougald. By the way, Devin White has been a big disappointment. Yeah, he has the last 2 weeks. That's for damn sure.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He's not very good. I heard he was not very good.
You heard that?
Some people say that. Some people say he's not good.
You have a couple of down weeks, and all of a sudden he's not a very good player.
It's ridiculous. He's like 22, 23. I'm about tired of people saying that so-and-so isn't good.
When they're kids.
And then they don't tell like who they actually like.
Or why they're not good. Anyway, let's not get too far into the weeds there.
That's whack behavior, people.
Don't be whack. Don't be crack. All right, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or McDougald. I'm gonna go with CGJ. Chauncey Gardner here. I know Bradley McDougald's probably like the more secure role, but I've just really kind of liked Chauncey Gardner since he's come out, and I feel comfortable playing him. Let's put it that way. Like, I don't feel comfortable when I have Bradley McDougald in my lineup, and even though Gardner's hurt me, I just feel more comfortable when he's in my lineup. So that's not elite analysis, but that's just how I feel.
Maybe you just like heartbreak.
I don't like heartbreak, and I say that, and I'm looking at my rankings. I have Bradley McDougald 1 spot ahead of him. Whoops. Fix that real quick.
See, there it is, man. You just like heartbreak.
Yeah, I'd probably go Chauncey Deuce as well, Mr. CGJ. That he's Chauncey Deuce on Sleeper. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Well, I think they changed it again, didn't they? Or there's 2.
He changed his name, and he's got such a weird name now. I don't think anybody knows what his name is. I think everybody's confused.
What is it? Is it Chauncey Deuce or is it
Gardner
Johnson?
I thought he changed the first name too. I don't think it's Chauncey anymore.
He's got some secrets, I think.
Yes. Well, I mean, look, Ocho Cinco.
It's true. It's true. People have done it before. I'd probably go Gardner Johnson as well.
There we go. You got it. You got it, Travis. May the force be with you. Walker or Okereke? Total tackle scoring.
Gotta go Walker, in my opinion. I mean, I've enjoyed seeing Okereke's snaps go up, but Walker, I mean, he's a beast whenever Leonard's out.
Yeah, he had like the highest or second highest like tackle rate in the league last season. I mean, he had like 137 tackles and nobody even knew about it. Like it's on like 80% of snaps. Like what?
Yeah, man.
But he did get hurt. They're both like hurt right. Everybody's hurt right now in the middle of that field. But like Okereke had like a thumb surgery, right? Was that this week? And then Walker had some sort of knee surgery.
There.
Other stats count, solos, but yeah, I mean you're not expecting anything but tackles out of these two anyway, so that's not necessarily overly relevant. But I'm gonna go with Adam. I'm gonna play Walker too, just because I try to go with the known commodity over a guy who's a little bit more of a shot in the dark. And not that Okereke hasn't had his games, but I mean, how do you spot an Okereke game? Like you just don't. They just happen, or they don't happen, kind of.
Yeah, that's maddening.
Greetings from Germany. Ooh, I wish I knew some German. But good morning. Thanks for joining us. Or good afternoon, I guess, for you. Would you start Terrell Edmonds over Patrick Queen? Hell no. Maybe that's Tremaine Edmonds, though. Well, either way, the answer is hell no. Patrick Queen, I'm a noted non-Patrick Queen apologist. But I would definitely play Queen right now over Edmonds, either Edmonds brother. I mean, he's playing better. I mean, Tremaine Edmonds, people have tried to kind of, give him a crown he hasn't really earned since he's come into the league. And I mean, he's a linebacker 2 right now, and Patrick Queen's a linebacker 1. So,
and that's what Tremaine's always been. Tremaine's never. I mean, he'll have those flat, those weeks that make him seem like he's been better than he is.
Yeah,
but. For real, Tremaine's been nothing but underwhelming in the 3 years that I've had him.
Yeah, he's just good enough. He's a linebacker too. Like he's a solid linebacker too. And that's kind of where you're at with him. And right now, Patrick Queen is like a top 6 linebacker in the league. So you got to go with your man. With the points, you got to go with the man that's getting the big plays. You got to go with the guy that has not been injured yet this year, and that is Patrick Queen.
And Tremaine's good. He's still 22, I think. So he's gonna have a nice long career. But just for fantasy, he is overrated. He gets drafted way too high.
Yeah, right now, I 100% agree. I kind of have the same beef with Fred Warner, but I know you're a big Fred Warner guy, so I don't want to. Careful. I want to have you back on the show sometime, so I don't want the screen to just disappear.
Where'd he go?
Thoughts on Marcus May's outlook this season? Is he a drop if bad week this week? I mean, you'd need to be in a pretty shallow to medium-sized league for that to be in consideration, probably, because he's still, like we said earlier, has the upside and the steadiness.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything like that. I mean, as long as he's still getting 100% of the snaps, which he is, I mean, there's no reason to drop him. His big games will come. He'll get some sacks. He's gonna. Greg Williams uses those safeties, in good ways for fantasy production.
Yep, agreed. So an outlook for the season. I mean, kind of what you've kind of been getting. You'll get a pop game, maybe 2 more pop games this season, and he's going to be steady for you the rest of the way. Kind of like most safeties, most defensive backs in general. So,
yeah, it's just that's the position. I mean, you're not going to get these 20-point weeks unless you're like Budda Baker or Jamal Adams. You know what I mean? Like there's like 5 of those guys.
Mm-hmm. If that, I mean, more like 2. I mean, even Landon Collins, didn't he have like a 6 or 7 point week last week or 2 weeks ago? It's like everybody has down games, and I don't know. Even on the offensive side, people get so reactionary on the defensive side, and I'm like, go look at. I mean, are people freaking out right now about Josh Jacobs? Hell no, they're doubling and tripling down. I mean, look what they did early this season with Joe Mixon, and then he pops, and they're like, yeah, this is it, and I'm like, that's like a third of his production this season, but I mean, ride that high while it lasts. But defensive players, I mean, people are out here willy-nilly dropping, Taylor Rapp and, Cameron Jordan, just like, oh, yeah, man, I'm over it. And it's just like, chill. Like, you put them on your team for a reason. Like, you have to take the good with the bad is what I always say with all players.
Yep. People get off to slow starts. It happens.
I mean, look at another great example is like Aaron Jones last season. And Joe Mixon last season. I mean, they had low games, like 2 and 3 point games. Aaron Jones was number 2 running back on the season. Like, it's just the nature of fantasy. There is no such thing as a consistent player, and the consistent players are the ones you really don't want. The 6-7 pointers every week.
Right.
I want the spikes. I want those big weeks. So that's why I'm playing Chandler Jones again this week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready for it. All it takes 1 50-point game, and he's going to be a top 12 guy again, just like that. So he's playing the Jets. So
if
he can't do it this week, though, I'm dropping his ass.
Do it.
Not sure if you guys saw this on Joe Thomas thoughts versus the Vikings. Smith's been sucking. Oh, your question. Do you have another question up here? I guess I missed it.
I didn't see it up there.
No. I'm still gonna play Smith. Yeah, he's been like sucking for football, but he's still getting fantasy points at a pretty high clip, right?
Who's he talking about? Jalen Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still roll Jalen Smith as well.
Yeah, I mean he's up there with in the top 20 right now. Top 20 right now. Joe Thomas isn't, so and Joe Thomas is out there like filling in for somebody. Although he's on his heels, he's only got about 10 points less than him. So, I'm going to play Jalen Smith every week as a linebacker 1. That's just me.
Yes, same.
Ooh, Marcus May or Josh Jones? Now, that's a good question. I am high AF on Josh Jones.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, you got Jared Wilson coming back this week. So
True.
That could throw I mean, I know they don't play the same position, but Jared Wilson's a better tackler, I think, than Wingard, however you say his name.
He's irrelevant now.
Yeah, he's hurt, right? He had I think he's like a core muscle injury or something.
And he got hurt like the week before that too.
Yeah. So it's still hard for me to go away from Marcus May.
I'm going to take Josh Jones there. I know we were just talking up Marcus May, but I've just been liking what I've been getting out of Jones. Oh my gosh, go away. I've been liking what I've been getting out of Jones on a weekly basis. I mean, it's not necessarily monster weeks, but he's definitely like not letting me down. So, and Marcus May, let's see, what have his last 3 weeks been? 7, 12, 13. I mean, that's almost bad. That's like borderline not good. Let's see what Josh Jones has got. He might have a more consistent kind of situation. 18, 15, 8, and 18. So, I mean, it's a lower ceiling, but it's a higher floor so far through the season for Josh Jones.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning Jones. There is definitely the Jared Wilson thing coming back, but I'm still probably going to go Jones. That's just me. New season of the boys. Hell yeah, man. It was awesome. Oh, new season new
season of the boys is pretty awesome.
I just finished it yesterday. Dude, that last episode was crazy.
I haven't finished it, so don't tell me what's going on.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. There's a lot of it's violent.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm ready to finish watching it.
Cameron Jordan, Joey Bosa, or Joe Schobert. 4 points per sack, 1 point per tackle. Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to go – okay, let's check on these matchups. Who do Bosa and Jordan play this week?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So Cameron Jordan plays the Chargers.
Herbert's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, and he hasn't been sacked a lot either. He's like the 20th most sacked quarterback. He's only been sacked 6 times. It's like 1 a week.
Jacksonville plays Houston.
Joey, who's okay, and then who's Joey Bosa playing? Joey's playing New Orleans. They don't give up a lot of sacks either. How many times has Joey's been sacked?
I think I'd probably go. I'd probably go Schobert. I mean, if you need just for safety, the 4 points per sack that kind of just devalues the DLs a little bit.
Agreed. And Schobert can get sacks, so it's not like he's completely out of the equation for that.
And it's Houston where Watson gets sacked a lot. So, I mean, maybe he can come away with one of those. Yeah,
Watson's the most sacked quarterback in the league right now, like 16 times. Breeze has been sacked 5 times, and Herbert's been sacked 6. So Watson's been sacked almost triple the amount of times they both have. So, I'm playing Schobert there. Yep. That's that was a kind of a fun question to.
Yeah, really good one. And I guess between those two DLs, who would you guys like better, Jordan or Bosa?
I'm still going to take Bosa. I feel like he's kind of playing grumpy right now. I feel like so. I think I'm in on that. Like he hasn't had a boom game, neither has Cam Jordan. But I feel like when Joey Bosa gets out there and like feels himself in like that first quarter of that one game, like it's going to be. I mean, he might double whoever sack count he's all going up against this week. So I'm going to go Joey over Jordan. Over Jordan. What about you?
I think I'm going to go Cameron just because of the matchup. And I feel like he's due a big one.
Yeah.
That's Monday night.
No.
Cam Jordan is as your Monday night miracle isn't a bad feeling, I don't imagine. All right. Kenneth Murray or Josie Jewell, rest of season. Thanks for the great show. You're welcome. That's tough.
I mean, probably Kenneth Murray for me, just because, I mean, even though Jules, he had a great week last week, I just feel like, I don't know, he's in the past he's played bad, so he could always be, if that defense struggles, that could be a candidate to get replaced. Whereas I think Kenneth Murray, like he's secure in his job, and he's been producing, so.
100% agree with that take. I mean, Kenneth Murray's not going to come off the field, and Josie Jewell is the kind of guy where he does one thing wrong, and we might not see him for 6 weeks. So,
yeah,
I'm going to go Murray as well there. I don't think Murray hasn't popped yet, but he's had like 2 10-tackle games playing like 80% of snaps. Like when he has a pop game, and I saw like Gus Bradley said something about trying to get him around the ball more to be more disruptive this week. So we might see him get used a little bit more aggressively this week, and that's when I'm trying to catch that pop game, like we said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, Patrick Queen or Nate Gary?
Queen.
Yeah, Queen. I like Nate Gary, but again, Queen's a playmaker at this point in the NFL. Nate Gary's not really a playmaker. So
Nate Gary's not good at football either. He's trash.
all
He's
Eagles
not
fans. Everybody hates Nate Gary. I thought. Have you guys ever watched? Have you guys ever watched the Metalocalypse by chance?
Yes.
You have. Have you?
Is that the what? Explain that.
It's about this Nordic metal band that like runs the world, but they don't realize they run the world. But like everyone worships them, and like they just everything they do is just fine.
They do everything.
They do crazy. Like it's insane. It's like the best car. It's like imagine Rick and Morty before Rick and Morty, like on like a different sort of plane. Like it's like that. Like it's
they do some pretty crazy things. Like there's a rock and roll clown.
That's what I was gonna say. So there's Dr. Roscoe, the rock and roll clown. He runs around screaming, "I do cocaine!" And he's insane, right? Well, there's an episode where there's this guy who's like their handler, and he's awesome. But he says to these. And they have all these guys that literally like sacrifice their lives for them, like their bodyguards. Like they just say, "Hey, go jump off that cliff," and these guys just do it. So he tells them, like the clown is like doing coke with one of the guys, and the handler is like kind of over it. So he tells him, he's like, "Hey, go give the clown the boots, medium style." And so like he like tells him bye, and the clown goes outside, and they grab him and drag him outside, and they just beat the shit out of him. And he's just like, "Ah!" And I'm like, that's what Eagles fans do every game to Nate Gary. They're just like, "Get him, guys!" and kick the shit out of him. Nate Gary. It's funny. Eagles fans are very fun to watch on Twitter, and like I've noticed they love to hone in on Nate Gary. So
man. They're so emotional. I love seeing. I just love seeing them comment. Like it when we run those tweets every week from the Big Three account. There's always people like from just Eagles fans just talking shit about their linebackers.
They just love to trash Eagles, and it's funny they all talk like, "Oh, we're so used to disappointment." I'm like, "You guys just won like the most miraculous Super Bowl of all time." Like
I know,
like you act like nothing's gone your way. Like chill out. Like
you guys are fine. You guys just had some unfortunate luck with injuries and everything. Like you're fine.
It's funny. Anyone who's listening or watching, you guys need to watch Metalocalypse. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great cartoon. Yeah, just because they don't have fulls.
And the episodes are like 12 minutes long. Like they're like snap. Like it's so good.
I need to check it out. It's a lot of just Paw Patrol and Blippi and shit like that for me these days.
I get down with Blippi. Paw Patrol is a little beta. I love me some Blip though.
You like Blippi though?
Yeah, I love Blippi's a boss. Dude,
he's smart, but I think he pooped on somebody at one point. If you do a Google search of Blippi, you'll be
well, no one's perfect, so even Blippi.
Yeah. I'm not so up to date on cartoons.
Yeah. All right, we got another question. I've got Ryan Neal, Seattle, on the wire in my Dynasty League. Would he be worth picking up for a spot start over May? Seattle playing the Vikings, which mean lots of opportunities for Neal. Thoughts?
God, you guys are making me sound like a May fanboy this episode. Like with all these Marcus May questions.
I know, right? Well, it's because people are scared to start him probably because he hasn't been. Yeah, they probably started in week 1 or wanted to catch those points, and it just hasn't happened.
No, that's the thing. They didn't start in week 1 because like he was on waivers, and then they went and got him, and he's been trash. So they're like, "What the hell?"
That's you're 100% right there. You definitely play May in that situation. Like,
yeah, Neal's been really good though, and I mean he's going to continue to play in that Adams role. That's kind of a strange question. Ryan Neal, who is filling in for Adams, and versus Marcus May, who is filling in for Adams this year on that team.
Okay, we got some crazy guy in here, Bob.
Oh boy.
Oh man, here we go. This is going to be a tough 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Hey, Bob.
Rest of the season outlook. Love the show. Should Addy feller. He's cute. Ooh, all right. Love connections happening in real time. What do you guys think about Josh Sweat? I'm like meh about him. I'm not overly excited. I've like tried to do this. I mean, I'm like so over trying to like make Eagles players a thing. Like they kind of just are what they are. But
yeah, I mean, I like what I've seen so far. And he's his pressures aren't bad. He's getting a decent amount of pressures. He's got and he's not the focal point there. So I mean, he's fine. He's not going to be, I don't think any more than like a DE2 for you. But DE2 is good this year. That may be exactly what you need.
Shoot, DE2 might be DE1 this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We have some news. Miles Jack is out. Julio Jones is out. And that's all I got for you guys. I know. That's all I got so far. But it just broke like 3 minutes ago. So
yeah, well,
we're all scrambling. I got Miles Jack. I put him in lineups this morning. So I was like, yeah, there's hope. That was a stupid move.
Good. I'm kind of glad Julio Jones is out this week.
Yeah, so we can get another big fat 0 from old Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver 1. You know what's funny is last year, whenever Mike Evans put up a 0, it'd mean like the world imploded. Like people like he's burned, he's a bum, he's screwed, blah blah blah. Calvin Ridley does it this week, and I haven't heard anything but excuses for him. Like, oh, it's okay, or well, it happens. I'm like, when I just hate the amount of like non-respect. Mike, he doesn't get disrespected, but it's just like he's out here right now as a top 5 wide receiver, and he's been broken every game, like hurt. Like, come on, people, like put some respect on his name. He's gonna lead the league in fucking touchdowns this season too. He's already got like 5, 6.
He looked rough.
He's got like 10 catches. I don't care. Mike Evans rough is better than half.
I know. It just looked like he was like just limping around and everything, and just that one pass interference where he like shoved that guy, like he shoved a guy and then he ran over and shoved another guy, and then they called it and he full LeBron. Like, what are you talking about? And it's like, dude, like you literally ran over to a guy and shoved him.
Yeah, he's been getting hot with a lot of corners lately. I've noticed.
I love it. Well, that's because I love it.
6 straight years, right? 6 straight seasons with 1,000 yards. Is that right with Mike?
Yeah, I think there's 5 or 6, whatever. Another number of years he's been in the league.
Yeah, he's never not had 1,000. Big Mike, give him some respect.
Amen. All right, Richard Malone, what's up, bro? How you doing this week? Good to see you again. Carl Lawson or Sheldon Richardson? Ooh.
Love to see Carl Lawson, man, balling the way he is. 3.5 sacks already this year. And I saw where Dunlap is going to be not getting as much playing time.
Yeah. He's not it, which is tough. A tough look. But
is he hurt? Or is he
I think they're just the coaching staff's just kind of he's been there forever. I mean, everything's transitioned over. I think this is just part of them like taking the next step as an organization. Like, look, like you're a beast and all that, but like we have a guy here. He had like 22 quarterback hits last season on like no snaps. Like he was getting to the quarterback. We got a guy here behind you that's showing himself to be talented. Right now, he has the most points of anybody on that team at defensive line, and he's played like the least amount of snaps. I mean, over Hubbard and Dunlap. So I'm going to go with Carl Lawson. I'm going to try to catch some of that fire because this could be a week he comes out and says, hey, like, this is my shot to prove that I earned this, this job. So,
yeah. We hope and pray that he gets like, 70% of the snaps. That would be humongous if he can get that going forward. I think, this is like an ultimate, upside or safe type play. Sheldon Richardson has, he has the high floor, but I think Lawson has the higher ceiling.
Yeah, agreed. And that's no shade on Richardson. I don't think either of them are a bad play this week at all. So
no, they're both fine. Yeah, they're probably both. If I had to do ranks, they'd probably be close to each other.
Yeah, they'd be like DL2s. I mean, pretty solidly.
Yeah,
definitely with upside as a 1. So, all right, should I start Jeremy Chin or Aldon Smith? Man,
Smith's up and down every week.
He is up and down every week. He's got the Rams this week. No,
he has
Giants. I like the Giants.
It's a good matchup.
Yeah, I like that matchup. I think you play Aldon Smith if you want the upside, and I think you play Chin if you want the floor.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
It's a good answer.
Yeah. What up, Shane? Good to see you this morning, brother. I'm going Mike Hilton this week. Thoughts? I mean, thoughts are hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, give me some of that. I don't have Mike Hilton anywhere. I feel left out, dude. I mean, I feel literally like out in the cold. Like, Somebody send me a trade with Mike Hilton, please. For the love of God.
He's a beast, man. And he's still not even getting like the snaps that like some of these, outside corners get. But he's just a beast.
They're moving him around like he's coming in like him and Tremaine Edmonds. I was listening to the Fantasy Points podcast, and they do like an IDP show every weekend. Those guys are smart as shit. And they were kind of talking about how the success of Terrell Edmonds is directly tied into the success of Mike Hilton and how they're playing in tandem with each other a lot. And makes me kind of think that's maybe they're hurting the value of Minka, who hasn't done fuck all this year. But that's because these guys are just getting around the ball faster, and they just seem to always kind of be in that area. So, I mean, and Mike Hilton apparently has rushed the passer more than any corner in the league, or the second most. So he's playing high leverage snaps too, not just like corner snaps. But I mean, he's like they're using him to blitz. So
that defense is so good.
Yeah, they're literally every player on that team can get pressure. Like it's just like, hey, you want to get a pressure today? How about 4? Like, just come over here. Like that Highsmith guy, I saw him like 4 or 5 snaps and he looks elite. I'm like, everybody, if you just put somebody in a Steelers uniform and put them on that line, it's just like they all gain superpowers. It's just like, you're the man now. Like, look, Bud Dupree, you're the man now. Like, everyone's the man now. Which reminds me, I'm playing Stephon Tuitt this week in some leagues, so that probably means he won't do anything, but I'm pretty excited about it because I want to get as much of that Steelers action as possible.
Yep. He's always a nice upside play too. And he's like top 10 in pressures. The whole defensive line, like there's 4 or 5 of them that are like top 10 in the league in pressures. I've never seen anything like it.
I love being a Steelers fan.
Yeah, what's that jersey you got on?
TJ Watt.
His Watt jersey.
I've been riding for Watt since day motherfucking 1.
It's your boy.
He's a linebacker 1. Don't let anybody tell you differently in a properly set up league.
And a damn DL and sleeper now, man.
Oh, that's great. He's top 5 DL and he's only played 3 games still. Like,
it's amazing.
Woo! Bye. Daniil Hunter, he's flying down my dynasty ranks right now.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I have to agree, man.
Herniated disc in your neck.
His trainer suggested he missed this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't getting paid like these other, guys that he's considered around. Like he's not getting the same type of money as who just got paid. Who was it that just got paid handsomely this offseason?
Everybody. Joey Bosa did. He got a bunch of money.
So Hunter's like on like he signed like a 5-year $70 million deal like 2 seasons ago. So he's not getting nearly the money that those other types are. Yeah. Why would you rush back?
I think he wants to play. Like he seems like that kind of player because like he's like going out of his way to get a second opinion because he wants to play. And like you said though, like why? Like what's the point? Like you're already not getting paid as much as a lot of the other guys. Maybe he's not going to get paid because he doesn't play though, and like he just needs the money. I don't know.
Nah, I don't know. But they're also 1-3. Like there's why risk it? He's elite. He's going to be fine.
We haven't had any Yannick Ngakoue questions yet today, but I'm playing Yannick Ngakoue.
He's been good.
Yeah, he's always good. He's always solid. He's playing more snaps now than he did in Jacksonville. He's already got like a forced fumble or 2 on the season. He's got a couple of sacks. I mean, he's kind of underrated. I mean, maybe it's because he doesn't pop. Like he doesn't have big multi-sack games like almost ever. I think he's only got like 1 or 2 sack games in his whole career. But he's just like steady as they go.
Yep, he's been great, and there's not a lot of help around him. The rest of that unit's not getting any pressure. Yannick's really like the sole provider of it.
No, 100% right. All right, good morning. Dante Jackson against Atlanta or Michael Davis against the Saints? Thank you.
So Michael Davis coming off that humongous week. I like Dante Jackson. I mean, that's a great matchup, and he's been solid.
Yeah, Atlanta's throwing the ball a ton, so I'm going to go there over the Saints, who we don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play or not. I really don't even care if Michael Thomas plays. I just feel like Dante Jackson's the play. So we got another one from Bob. What up, Bob? Eric Wilson, Okereke, or Vince Williams in IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring? Man, it's so hard not to play Vince Williams right now.
Mm-hmm.
He has like 8. I think he leads the league in tackles for loss, and he did not. He's been like 80% of snaps or something. Like 70. It's unreal, like what he's doing.
I'm going Wilson. I'm right with my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan. He's getting 100% of the snaps. He's wearing the green dot. Good matchup this week. He's the safest play, I think, of the group.
It's true.
Yeah.
Vince Williams, man, I just don't trust it to keep up. We've seen this plenty before.
I know, but I've been watching it be happening the last 3 weeks, and I'm just like,
until it dies.
I want it. Like, I want to catch that lightning in a bottle, because that's always, and like when you're watching these games and we're like, oh, the Steelers are having 1,000 sacks a game, blah, blah. I'll sit here and watch a Steelers game. I'll miss every sack except for Vince Williams sacks. Like, I'm like, that's just like what happens. They're like, oh, the 4th sack of the game. And I'm like, what? They're like, oh, here comes Vince Williams again. I'm like, how am I only seeing Vince Williams sacks? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, so I just want to catch that high, when that happens, instead of like missing the TJ Watt sacks. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta rewind it.
Yeah, I understand. But this is a really good example of why you shouldn't ever overpay for linebackers in your draft. Like every single one of those guys were picked up off waivers.
Yeah.
And they're all options for you now. They're all like, those are all really good options this week. Like, that's not a, yeah, they're all really close.
I don't think there's anybody in that group that's necessarily going to push in the top 6 or 8, but like you said, I could see every one of them finishing in the top 36.
Yep, exactly.
So that's kind of, that's a really good point there. I've kind of been, from what I've noticed this year, I have kind of been rethinking how I'm going to be drafting next year. Like, the teams that I love the most are the ones where I did take a super stud linebacker, though, and not like a theoretical super stud linebacker like a Tremaine Edmonds or a Fred Warner or a Deion Jones, like an actual super stud linebacker like Blake Martinez and Jalen Smith,
Darius Leonard,
Roquan Smith. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any Darius Leonard because he was always the first one taken, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there are those guys, like, yeah, it's a little bit more flat, but man, like, it's just so nice, like, to know, like, look at Blake Martinez. He has like 23, 24, 24, 25 points. Like, he's always in that stud category every single week. And then you look at guys that are, like Fred Warner. I mean, he's not bad, but it's like, whenever I'm going up against a guy who's going to get 7 or 8 more points without even thinking about it than me, that bothers me. So next year, I think I'm changing up my draft strategy a little bit. I typically have like gone for those middle round linebackers, at kind of mid round linebackers, like, that 12 to 18 range, and try to get several of them and hope someone hits. I don't think I'm going to do that next year. Next year, I think I'm going to make sure that I'm getting a Devin White, a Levante David. I'm going to be getting a Jalen Smith. I'm going to be getting Blake Martinez next year, and and not trying to piece it together. I mean, I get some people like to do that, but when I'm in 17, 18 leagues or whatever, piecing things together just gets so fucking tedious. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'd rather be like, oh, like think about the leagues you have Travis Kelce in. You just scroll by his name every day and you smile. I mean, you don't think about it. I love that feeling. I want that feeling more. Like, the leagues that I'm doing bad in this year are the ones I'm streaming quarterback. Next year, I'm going to take Dak. Next year, I'm going to take, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if I have to take him 2 or 3 rounds before I want to, just to scroll past that position and just be like, it's already figured itself out. Like, that's such a good feeling, in my opinion. So,
oh yeah.
So what positions are the least valuable to you?
I mean, I don't know.
You
DB.
can't do that with all the positions. Yeah, DB.
Well, DB, I'm the same way with DB though. Like, I want a top end guy. Like, I want Landon Collins. I have Budda Baker everywhere. My DB1 is just always like, oh, it's so nice. And then I just get to plug in Anthony Harris and Kari Willis and all these little guys, and I don't have to think about it because, I also have like the pimp OG number 1, like, just chilling. Like, he's gonna take care of business. Budda Baker will take care of business. Like, that's such a good feeling. Like, I'm gonna try to build more rosters like that next season. Maybe a little less. I mean, it's value-based drafting. It's kind of put a bad taste in my mouth over the last few years. And the teams that I value-based draft in, always the ones that need the most work in season. So that was kind of a long rant there to say you should start your studs and draft studs.
Yeah, just draft the right people.
Yeah, guys, just look at the best. This is what my son says to me every time I ask him who I should start. Because I'll sometimes be like, hey, I asked him this morning. I was like, Montez Sweat or Frank Clark. And he always says the same thing. He looks at me and says, who's the best? Like, I hate you. Every single time he's been doing it for like since last year. I'll say to my wife and he'll be like, "Hey, who should I start?" He'll be like, "Who's the best?" And he just smirks at me because he knows I hate it. I'm like, "I need you to tell me who the best is."
Hey, he's just telling you to start your studs, man.
I
Whoever's
know.
start that one.
He's elite. He's elite. All right, Poyer, Hilton, or Chin. One of those three, man. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, probably Poyer. I mean,
probably
no Milano this week.
True.
Poyer's been lights out,
like that, and he's so solid. He's the safest of the group, I think. He's getting the most. Hilton, I mean, again, he's been great, but he's not getting the snaps that these other two safeties are getting.
Yeah, I have Chin at 3 and Poyer at 4 this week, but I mean that's so close, and I think I only have Chin at 3 because he's playing Atlanta, and I think they're going to run probably more plays than Tennessee. I could see Tennessee trying to actually try to run the ball this week because, I mean, they have been running it a lot the past few weeks, but it doesn't seem like it's been working out necessarily. So, I don't know. Maybe that game's a little bit slower pace than the Falcons game. So, I'm going to go either Chin or Poyer, but my rankings say Chin.
Yeah.
Not
you're not trying to catch that lightning in a bottle with Hilton here?
Steve, I don't know. No, just because as a general rule of thumb, I'm going to start a safety over a corner. Over a corner.
Corners are doing so well this season.
No, you're 100% right. Corners are blowing up this year. It's definitely been fun to watch. All right, Brian Poole or Michael Davis? DB. I'm going to play Brian Poole. He's been good. I mean, better than average the last 2 seasons for fantasy. 3 really. He's not a great necessarily corner in the league, but that's kind of what helps him be good at
fantasy.
Yeah. And he's on the Jets, and we know they like to play aggressively on defense. So I could see him making some plays. He's already had at least one big week this season, didn't he? He had a big turnover.
Big weeks.
Yeah, he had a couple of big weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd go Poole.
Thoughts on Dakota Allen with Miles Jack out? I don't like playing guys that are coming in to fill in for somebody because they could, be a drive-in and then somebody could come in to fill in for them. So I don't hate it, but if you get a tackle out of him, I'm just going to kind of say, like, don't be overly surprised.
Congratulations, that tackle.
You're definitely not going to get Miles Jack's top 5 linebacker production out of him. I mean, you might, though. I mean, look what Donald Payne did last year when he came in.
He's a fine start. I mean, he's a solid start. He's got linebacker 36 upside.
Think so?
I think so.
Well, who'd you rather play?
I guess,
but again, that's not that impressive. That's like finishing with 7 tackles.
Yeah, but again, I just feel like his floor is scary. I want to know what other options do you have, Shauna? Tell us. We would love to help you more. Dog Pound Gangsters, what up? I'm in a 10-team league with only one IDP. Who did you guys play today? Well, I need it. What's your scoring setup, my man, Dog Pound? Give us your sack and your tackle, and then any of your auxiliary plays. And I'm assuming with 10 team, pretty much anybody's going to be available for us to pick on waivers.
I mean,
I'm probably going to try to pick up a linebacker though.
Yep. Unless you got some crazy scoring.
Yeah, unless you're getting 12 points for a sack, then I'm going to go look for. Maybe Chase Young. All right, Rich. What up, man? Obo Okrekwo. Who have any of you guys been seeing this guy? He could be a deep sleeper. I haven't seen anything about this dude. Have you? Okrekwo? Maybe his name came up. Offense question. Is that the guy that's like the wide receiver who's playing for Julio? Or does he have another crazy name?
That's his name. Oh shoot, I forget his name. But yeah, that's a different guy.
Adam has left the chat. Oh, he said he's having trouble hearing. Hopefully he'll be back in a second. IDP lineup.
But yeah.
All right. Dog Pound gave us some information down there a little bit. Preston Williams or Jalen Gutyan tonight. No Mike Williams. I'm gonna try to go Jalen. All right, let's see if we can get him back in here. Any better?
I'm good.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go Gutyan over Preston Williams. I've never understood the Preston Williams hype. He's always been a hard, easy pass for me in all formats, in all drafts.
Hey, I won't stand for that.
Well, what's he done? I mean, what's his biggest game?
He was great. He was okay. So I mean, I think he tore his ACL like week 8 or something last year. But that week he did it, man. He blew up. He had his best game of the year. Then he tore his ACL. Obviously, he hasn't fully regained trust in that knee, and you can tell when he's out there, man. He looks like Bambi. He's slipping a lot. He just doesn't seem confident. But yeah, his snaps have, they've been scaled back, so that's not great. But we're holding the faith for Preston Williams, Jordan. We're not going to write him off yet. He's shown enough. He's flashed enough. He's got a nice skill set. We like him.
All right, that's fine. He's not on any of my teams, but for all y'all that are holding out, I wish you the best of luck.
What did Guyton do though? He had one catch for 72 yards and a touchdown. Right?
When was it?
Last week.
No, last week I'm looking at he had one catch for 15 yards.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm thinking.
His snaps have been going down too. He played 90% week 1, 80% week 2, and then 50 and 60 the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, not great, but again, I don't think he's trusting that knee yet, and it's not even been a full year since he tore it. So just keep that in mind. The reason why I like Preston Williams because he was free. I mean, he was an undrafted guy, so you were able to get him in a lot of places in Dynasty.
Yeah, true. Steve, you were talking about Guyton, right? He had one catch for 72 and a touchdown.
He had one big play, and I mean it was an amazing play, but that's pretty much all you see on it.
All right, I seed. Preston Williams is probably the right choice. Morgan Fox,
I don't know.
Stephon Tuitt.
I wasn't giving an endorsement there on Preston Williams.
He's not giving any kind of endorsement.
You sound like a Preston Williams salesman. I'm talking about
on that specific start. But I mean, I guess you got to go. I mean, you're taking a shot with Guyton. I mean, you're just hoping and praying. Whereas
he does the same thing.
Kind of, same situation, really, Preston.
Fair. All right, we had another one here. What we got? Morgan Fox or Stephon Tuitt? I'm going to go Tuitt.
Yeah, Tuitt.
You just want a piece of that Steelers team. Like, if you have a Steeler on your bench, you're just asking to be sad.
Yep. And even if Tuitt hasn't really, come home on all these sacks, he's up there in pressures. So I mean, he's top 15 in pressures. That's what you want to see. That's a sign of getting consistent. Affecting the quarterback consistently. Yeah,
and on disruptive defense with so many playmakers, I mean, turnover opportunities will be there. I mean, maybe he'll be like Robert Quinn this last week and just pick up a forced fumble, and that'll be the only thing he does. But the opportunities to do things like that are there on these disruptive teams. So I think he'll do a lot more than Robert Quinn's done, but he's the biggest disappointment of the season for me so far. Him and Dante Fowler are both just giving me the big FU.
Yep. All right, Fowler.
Circling back to Dog Pound, he said 1 point per tackle, 3 point for sacks, 2 point interceptions. All right, so you're just going to want to go find basically your highest projected linebacker on your waivers. That's what I would do.
Yep.
Without knowing who those guys are.
The sacks are, I mean, you can't depend on those. And even if someone has a 4-sack game, that's like probably going to be like 15, 16 points.
You don't want that. You want a linebacker. You want a middle linebacker or a weak side linebacker. Maybe KJ Wright. No, that's a little scary. In a league with only 10 guys, you're going to have a starting middle linebacker somewhere out there. Devin Bush is going to be out there. Jordan Hicks, Devondre Campbell are probably out. I mean, you'll have plenty of options. I would just go with whoever you want to watch play the most in a league where you're only starting one. I mean, you're literally just rolling the dice, You can't really effectively strategically set a lineup with that. I mean, you're just picking a guy and just hoping that it works out.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan draft strategy, draft the best guy. Yeah, buddy. Hey, go over to jordandraft.com. Donate and you'll get the ultimate draft. You'll get the ultimate kit. It has the best one line in all of fantasy football. Draft the best guys.
No promo code or anything?
No, full price at all times. I mean, this stuff is good. So
no deals.
No deals over here.
Deals are for the weak.
Yeah, we might get you a BOGO. You buy the first one, I'll give you a second quote. But that one, I'll send you a cameo vid or something. How's that? I have LB Dakota. Okay, this is from earlier. Let's see if I can scroll back up and find.
Oh yeah, but boys, Dakota Allen. So he did. I mean, he filled in exclusively for Miles Jack last week when he went down, and he filled it up in his short time he was out there. He had 6 combined tackles and like 30% of the snaps. So
all right. He's doing some work. All right, Shauna has Dakota Allen, BJ Goodson, Justin Hollins. If Kaiser's out, Micah Kaiser. Is Kaiser out? Do we know? Steve, can you check that real quick? Nick Kwiatkowski and Okreki. I might. I have Okreki starting. Already played Shaq Barrett. Need one more. I guess I'm okay with Dakota Allen in that group. I'm kind of partial to Nick Kwiatkowski, but he hasn't done a lot. Okreki, he hasn't really done a lot. Dakota Allen hasn't done a lot. I mean, these are all very similarly tiered guys.
Yeah, right. A lot of tough calls for this early in the morning. I guess that's kind of what the show is. But
I know, dude. Yeah, and we always give really bad advice. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So nothing new here.
Not me, guys. 100% every time.
Yeah, we have to cut him a pretty big check to be on today, but we figure it's worth it for the IDP Army. Get you guys some good analysis today. I'm going to go Dakota Allen. I mean, you guys kind of convinced me there. The Miles Jack role has been productive. We saw Donald Payne come in last year and just blow up. I mean, he literally finished out the season as the linebacker one over the last 5 weeks. So, and Miles Jack's trending towards a guy who could have potentially, if he played all 16, been the linebacker one. So if you're just looking for a guy to slide in there, I like that more than I like any of the other ones. So that was probably the toughest question I've ever had to answer in my life.
Yeah, they're saying Micah Kaiser's out.
Ooh, that's scary. That's sad. I don't have him anywhere. This is the first time I've been excited to say that. Yeah. IDP lineup: Devin Bush, Myles Garrett, James Bradbury, Mike Hilton. Thoughts? Man, it looks really good on paper, so it's probably going to blow up.
Need to get I don't know if that's what you're starting every week, but probably need to get some better safety depth or get some safeties, not rely on corners at DB.
Yeah.
But that's a good squad.
But at the same time, I mean, with this position being so flat, I mean, I'm okay with people playing corners. I mean, they're harder to predict and, they don't play in the box and all these things that you're told are wrong with them. At the end of the day, they still score points. Maybe they're not predictable, but they're also, corners are kind of a little more dynamic than safeties, a lot of them. I mean, just in a general sense of their position. So if the floor is stacked and the upside's there, I'm fine with, especially two guys like Bradbury and Hilton. I mean, they're leading the charge right now on the season as far as points are concerned. And James Bradbury, I guess, is partly because his team's probably playing a lot of defensive snaps, but Mike Hilton, like we talked about earlier, he's moving around. He's getting safety snaps, line of scrimmage snaps, box snaps. So he's not really a true corner. He's kind of like Logan Ryan. I said that last week or 2 weeks ago on my show. It's just he's just doing everything, and you can be on or off the bus, but the bus is going, so.
Yep.
I like that lineup.
Yeah, it's solid. I mean, the Myles Garrett, that stands out. You don't really got to worry about much when you got Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Devin Bush has been quiet this year. Don't really like that. Frank Clark or J.J. Watt? I'm going to go J.J. Watt.
They're playing Jacksonville this week, so that's a nice matchup.
He just got Bill O'Brien fired. He's got to be feeling himself.
Yeah, I think so. I would expect this to be one of his biggest weeks.
Yeah, I agree. And Frank Clark, I mean, I love the guy, but he's he's never like won me a week in IDP. Let's put it that way. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have like Frank Clark in and I say, oh, I feel really great about this. It's just like, oh, like Frank Clark's in my lineup again.
Yay.
That's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, he
with
seems like he spreads out his production. Boring, like 1 sack per week. That's his limit.
Yeah. I'm just going to get like, what's the minimum to be okay? 15, 16? You got it, coach.
Yep.
He gets like 16 in the first quarter, and then the rest of the game, he just like chilling.
Yep. And give you
Neville Hewitt, safe start today. I think so. Neville Hewitt's been a beast.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Beast last year.
He sure was.
Yep.
So you start Neville Hewitt. The guys who are not safe starts there are everyone else. Blake Cashman, Ogletree, Williamson. You can play them, but they're not the safe ones.
The Williamson thing was bizarre. I don't know why. I mean, he's definitely their best, in terms of NFL quality. He's their best linebacker.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess maybe they're just bringing him along slowly because of the knee stuff. He is coming off an ACL himself, so I'm guessing that's why the snap fluctuation is happening.
Decisions and
the coaching staff there just doesn't know what they're doing.
Sure, they're doing coke.
they're hanging out with Dr. Roxo.
Remember, this is that guy that the Miami offensive line coach. Remember that video that was released of him doing lines?
Oh,
yeah.
Who was the head coach? Who was his head coach then?
Adam Gase.
We're in New York now.
Maybe he had to leave Miami because he owed the wrong people some money. Oh wait, who was down in Miami before the Super Bowl getting his back massaged? Robert Kraft. How deep does it go? How deep does it go?
This web.
Where was the Super Bowl played this last year?
Oh my God.
Miami? Was it Miami? I think it was.
It was.
Oh my gosh. What does it all mean? I literally have no clue. If anyone has like a cool Reddit thread somewhere that like explains what we just said, we could start one. I'm sure it exists.
Yeah. Let's devote all of our time to this going forward.
Let's build it. Let's make this happen. There's a giant cocaine conspiracy in Miami, and it revolves around Adam Gase.
Well, I mean, then his press conference, we all remember the famous press conference.
He was on. I mean, people were like, I'm like, no, he was clearly on something.
He has social anxiety. What?
I have social anxiety too. You know what gives you really bad social anxiety? Doing
drugs.
Doing drugs, and then being put in front of public people, and then being asked questions. Like, I would. Like that's not normal. Like,
dude.
Whatever. Not my problem. Jets fans, they'll probably figure whatever. Flex Jam Brown or Mike Hilton.
Ooh,
back to business.
I mean, you're having to wait until to see what happens with that game. So I mean, I think you got to go Hilton, unless you're in a league like I am, where they're allowing you to have like sub players. That's.
I'm leaving all my Titans players and all my Bills players in. I've pretty much already committed to it. Like, even in the leagues where they're not letting me sub them out, I'm playing them. Like, I just
ride or die.
That's it. Like, I don't have time to. I can't do this right now. Like, I can't be stressing over 30 different lineups and all these different rules. It's just like my guys are in. I've set my lineups. If it works out, that's awesome. If I lose some points this week, if I take zeros, I've taken zeros the past several weeks. I played Ryan Kerrigan last week. I've played guys that have put up zero this season. Like, it's not going to be the first time, So it is what it is.
Yeah, this ain't our first rodeo.
Yeah, toughen up, Buttercup. It's just fantasy football. It's all just for fun. It's all make believe.
Yeah. Nothing to get stressed about.
I will say I'm 1-3 right now in Shark City, and I'm really fucking mad about it. So. There's that. It's all good though. I'm ready to.
You'll be all right, dude. Just, I mean, in that league, I lost Saquon and Cortland, so I'm doomed.
No,
I'm starting.
No. I should have beat you last week, but I had Robert Tonyan and Gibson on my bench. I had like a dunk on you. And I still lost. Yes. I was so mad. But like, that's one of those things where it's like you have so many lineups, like you kind of forget like which ones you've adjusted to where you won or haven't, and it's like,
yeah, you'll be all right. Just stay the course.
I'm I'm gonna win it. Don't worry about that. That's already been decided. I actually just had to move. I'll have to message you about that. I actually just had to move a guy out because I had Fowler starting over there. All right, guys, we're sorry. We're getting lost over here. I'm talking too much. I'm playing Jayon Brown, though. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I go Brown too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I'm assuming you have those rules set up. I probably wouldn't risk it, honestly, because there was a test. There was another test today, right, in from Tennessee.
Yep. See, a lot of people saying Kaiser's out. Yeah, he's out.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna stick with Brown and just let it ride. How about DE Fowler, Carrie Hyder, or Lawrence? All right, DeMarcus Lawrence is like DE 50 on the year. Dante Fowler is like DE like 45. Carrie Hyder is like DE 10. Like play Carrie Hyder.
Yeah.
This one, yeah, he needs the
two though. Don't
Yeah.
play DeMarcus Lawrence.
You're
DeMarcus Lawrence is unreal. So
you got to play Dante Fowler.
I tweeted something yesterday. He doesn't have a single quarterback hit this season. 0. Meanwhile, Alden Smith is like the number 2 defensive lineman in the league for IDP right now. And his stablemate, who's getting all the money while Alden Smith's doing all the work, hasn't even touched a quarterback this year. And they've played overtime games, haven't they? Like, what are you doing? Like, I know his knee's hurt.
Yeah.
Big Mike's knee was hurt too. All right? You either got it or you don't at this point, and DeMarcus Lawrence looked like he ain't got it. I don't know about that.
No, man, he's getting outplayed by Alden Smith, the guy that hadn't been in the league since 2015. So I think his time's over.
I'd be sending him an invoice for every sack. I'd be like, you owe me this much money. All the work out here, bro.
Yep.
You pulling up a Maybach, and I'm out here in my Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, you know his checks a lot lighter than Lawrence's. I wonder what was that deal. I wonder he got.
I think it was like a league minimum type thing. Like it was like nothing.
Probably. Yeah.
But he can get paid next year though.
Oh yeah.
He won't be with the Cowboys. I'm sure that's for sure. Who needs a pass rusher? A lot of people do, really.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Ryan, good play against Cowboys. Heck yeah, he's on MFL. He's still a cornerback, and he's playing safety. So, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yep, he's great.
Amazing.
Rack him up.
Yep.
Let's change up the chat. Who's this week's biggest bust and sleeper? Okay, all right, that's a tough one. Let's see. Who am I starting this week? That's going to be a huge bust. Let's see.
Yeah.
Kaiser White. He's due to just bust out. He's been so consistently good. I could see him just dumping all over me this week. Well, I mean, it's a hot takey thing, right? Or do I need to really put thought into it?
No, I mean, I get it.
A bust needs to be a top guy that doesn't perform. I mean, the easiest place to go for your bust is probably
like Martinez having a bad week or something like that.
That'll never happen. Knock on wood.
I'm just saying that, I was scrolling through my lineup and I seen Blake Martinez in my lineup and I was just like, but what do you think about Landon Collins this week?
I'm still in on him. I mean, he's my number 1 guy this week. He's playing the Rams. They run a lot. They control the ball a lot. They throw plenty. Landon Collins likes to get up by the line of scrimmage. I'm playing him.
I mean, Shaq Barrett was a bust this week.
Shaq Barrett what?
Shaq Barrett was a bust this week again.
Barely. He almost had like 2 sacks in the game. And that PI that they called on him, or not PI, that roughing the passer they called on him was so bogus. Like literally the ball was like an inch out of Nick Foles' hand. And they called and he was flying through the air. I was so mad. He was mad too, but what can you do?
Yep. I mean, it's unfortunate, but he's almost getting those points, but he's not getting those points.
So close.
He got enough points for the season. He got plenty.
I'll say Bosa's going to be a bust this week.
Bosa, I like that one. That's probably that could happen. I could see that happening.
I like that matchup. He's already questionable.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Like that call. There you go. There's a couple of bust sleepers. Any sleepers? Is Carl Lawson a sleeper? Ooh, Clavon Chason, is he a sleeper?
Yeah, maybe.
You know who could be a real sleeper this week is Yetur Gross-Matos. He gets Atlanta.
Yes.
And we saw Matt Ryan get beat to hell the other night by Zadarius Smith. I've got Brian Burns in my top 10 this week. No, I don't. He's at 11. I've got Brian Burns in my top 11 this week. So I could see Yetur Gross-Matos getting home for another sack this week or two.
Yeah. Gross-Matos, 5 pressures in his last 43 snaps.
Nice.
There you go. And Derek Brown, apparently, he's been trending up as well pretty consistently. So that's good. There's a couple sleepers and busts for you. Clint Story, what's up, man? Should I automatically plug Chase Young back into my lineup coming off an injury, or should I play Montez Sweat versus the Rams or Derek Barnett versus the Steelers?
Man, that's tough. I mean, Montez Sweat definitely is an option, but
he's been pretty up and down.
Yeah, I'd probably go Chase. I mean, I'd probably swing for the fences here.
Look at the balls on this guy.
Yep,
Chase Young, dude, he is a beast.
You're right. I mean, I feel like you're making me seem like a little timid little guy over here, but I'm probably going to go Montez Sweat.
Nervous?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. It's my
first night. You seem like, man.
I know, right? But I mean, like, it's week 4, or 5. Like, I can't be – if I have Chase Young in and the first quarter goes and I see that fucker on the side shaking his ankle out or throwing his helmet, I mean, you're looking at a big part of your week done. I mean, and you play Chase Young not for the floor. I mean, you're still playing him for the upside. And as soon as he comes off, that upside completely melts. Not saying Montez Sweat has the same, but I know Montez Sweat isn't hurt, and he's still playing 70%, 80% of snaps. So, and we don't know that, Chase Young's healthy. Again, what does that mean? Is he going to play all the snaps he's been? Are they going to, is he going to be spelled in and out? I'm as someone who's usually like the anti just go with the snaps conversation, which I think is like so boring and so just weak sauce at this point in time. I'm just going to be that guy, and I'm going to say go with Montez Sweat in the snaps. So,
hey, did you start Big Mike Thursday night, Jordan?
Yeah, I did. I started him every single league I had him in.
Game time decision, wasn't he?
He was. But he's Big Mike, okay? He has a set 5 or 6 year track record, like you said, coming in, of being a stone cold killer, all right? Chase Young's has 2 or 3 games of being, okay, all right, we see you out there, young man, but
it's enough.
That's enough.
Plenty.
I love it. Whoever you guys play will be wrong. That's just how fantasy goes. So
it'll be the correct answer is Derek Barnett.
100%. That is it. Play Derek Barnett. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Hey, thanks for coming in, Shauna. We appreciate you. What we got here? Hi, guys. Flex, Julian Love, Carrie Hyder, Kendall Fuller, Gardner Johnson. I was going to play Anthony Walker, but he is still questionable.
I'm probably still play Anthony Walker.
Even with the Q?
I think so. I mean, Julian Love, that in theory sounded good, but last week he only got 18 snaps.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. I kind of assumed the same thing, that he would have a much larger role with Peppers banged up, but that wasn't the case. Out of that list, I'd probably go. I mean, kind of depending on how much your sacks are scored. If your sacks are scored, 5 points and up, I'd probably go Hyder. If it's more of a tackle heavy league, probably go. I mean, Anthony Walker's a choice, but if he ends up missing, I'd probably go Gardner Johnson Deuce.
Yeah, I'm the exact same there with you. I'm going Hyder or Gardner Johnson or Anthony Walker, one of those 3. And if it's 6 points per sack, I'm going Hyder pretty easily.
Yeah,
just because he's not questionable. He has been a top 12, 15 guy so far this season. The snaps are there, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I would lean as well.
He was also mentioning
I have Gross-Matos. Should I pick him instead? I mean, we just brought him up as a sleeper.
Yeah.
So I'm not as confident in a guy who's a sleeper. I mean, you could play him. It is a flex spot, right? Yeah. So that comes down to a game theory question too. Like, how do you like to play your flex? Like, and that's different league to league for me. I mean, right now in the leagues I'm 1 and 3, I'm putting my defensive ends in my flexes. I'm putting my big play guys in my flexes. In the leagues where 2 and 2 or 3 and 1 or 4 and 0, I'm playing, pretty much all my linebackers and all my safeties just because I'm going to go with the safer floor.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Carl Lawson versus the Ravens? He's supposed to be getting more snaps with Dunlap now. Thanks. I mean,
love him.
Yep.
We talked about him earlier. He's definitely in play to be a play this week. And going forward, I mean, he's a top 20 guy right now on the season playing minimal snaps. They're recognizing that he's capable, and they're saying, hey, we're going to get you out there more. That's exactly what you want. I mean, you're looking at two of the most efficient, I mean, if you really look at it, kind of guys at the position at what they do. I mean, the last couple of years, Sam Hubbard is like the highest tackle rate of any defensive end. I mean, his tackle floor is insanely high. Sure, he doesn't get a lot of sacks. Then you look at Carl Lawson. I mean, he's getting the quarterback hits. He's getting close. He's closing in behind the line of scrimmage, playing 20 snaps a game. I mean, he's leading the league as a top 10 guy with quarterback hits. So you get two guys that are very efficient, and you're going to start putting them out there for more points. I mean, look what happened with Hubbard last year. As soon as he got the snaps last season, he got the points to go with it. He kept that same pace he had as a rookie where they were barely playing him, but he was still productive. So I like Carl Lawson a lot. And Lamar Jackson has been sacked a ton this year. It's weird. Like the narrative in my head anyway, I always think, the mobile quarterbacks don't get sacked. But that's just not true. Like Deshaun Watson has been sacked a ton. Carson Wentz has been sacked a ton. Russell Wilson's been sacked a ton. Lamar Jackson's been sacked a ton. The only mobile quarterback that hasn't been sacked double-digit times is Kyler Murray. And then you got these guys down here that are statues, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's been a little mobile this year. Big Ben, they're barely getting sacked. I mean, they have 4 or 5 sacks in the season. So,
yeah.
That pocket awareness.
Yep.
No, yeah, it really is. It's, you think of guys running around escaping sacks. Like when I think of Deshaun Watson, all I see is him escaping a sack. Like in my head, I just see John Watson. They missed him again. But it's like that narrative and what I see in my head is not reality. The reality is, he got sacked again. He was sacked again, which is funny because they always go out of their way to highlight what a great tackle Laramie Tunsil is on every broadcast. I don't know if I don't know.
Not buying it.
I don't know anything about offensive line. I don't know if offensive line play to have a conversation there, but I know he gets penalized a lot, and I know Deshaun Watson is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
They gave up a lot to get him.
And they gave up a lot to get him. So, and they're building that narrative around him being a cornerstone. I mean, that's what the things they said when they were talking about DeAndre Hopkins this last week. We have a cornerstone left tackle, so we couldn't keep a receiver like him. Blah blah blah. It's like, no, you power to an idiot. He destroyed your team, and this is how you try to justify it now that you realize you made a huge mistake.
Congratulations, guys.
Tunsil was the gas mask guy, right, from draft night?
Yeah, buddy. Whoops.
Hell yeah.
That video was a month ago. That was when I was younger.
Yeah, you don't see. I don't know that there's a lot of cornerstones that have those type of videos out there.
I don't know if there's a lot of cornerstones on the Texans, really. I mean, Deshaun Watson. I mean, you need 4 cornerstones to build a house, and I only see 1.
Yep.
Pretty awkward.
I think Zach Cunningham could be a cornerstone as like a middle linebacker, but I mean, it's hard to build a team around your linebacker like that. But if there was a team that was going to say we're going to make a linebacker a cornerstone, which they did just pay him a bunch of money, that's the team.
Yeah, they need to trade that defense. Whatever they can get for those pieces on defense, they got to trade. They need to acquire picks. That team is in a mess for the next 2 years.
Yeah, and I mean they did all this wacky stuff with their wide receivers too. I mean they got rid of Hopkins, and they bring in Kenny Stills in that trade last year. They have Brandon Cooks, who's a complete shadow. Will Fuller's looking good. I mean, it was the punchline of the last 3 years is, Will Fuller's hurt. Nah. It's week 5. He's not hurt yet. I mean, those people aren't, Meanwhile, Brandon Cooks is on basically every waiver wire I'm in redraft leagues. So
I can't believe how hyped up people were about Brandon Cooks this year. This dude's had so many concussions at this point. It's
not even that. It's just like he hasn't looked good. That's the thing. It's like people are like, he's so good. I'm like, have you watched him play? Like, he's got like one route.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's it.
Straight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a post route basically. I mean, he can't do much else from what I've seen. I mean, I don't know. He feels more and more like Tavon Austin to me every day.
Yep.
So yeah, those people, I had a good argument with them a couple weeks ago. That was actually one of my biggest blow up posts on Twitter was like, why is anyone drafting Brandon Cooks in 2020? And they went to town on me, but I was cool with it. I was like, all right, whatever. I thought about going back and just saying, hey guys, like today or tomorrow, maybe after he does nothing, but we'll
start working out for you.
Yeah. All right, we got another question. Let's keep helping these people out. Offensive question: Chase Edmonds or Dobbins? That's
Edmonds. I love Edmonds this week, man.
Yeah, he's getting design plays. You know, Dobbins is also getting designed work, but Edmonds is in a situation right now where he could just like be handed the ball a lot, and I don't think J.K. Dobbins is anywhere close to that situation. So if you're looking at kind of the same floor as like, you know, a handful of receptions and a handful of carries, they're both pretty equal. But if you're looking for the guy that could end up with like 18 carries along with his handful of receptions, that's Chase Edmonds is in his range of outcomes. I don't think it is for Dobbins unless Ingram gets hurt. But even if Ingram's got hurt, I feel like they would just give the ball to Gus Edwards, don't you?
Yep. Oh yeah. Or you always got to worry about Lamar taking it himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so Edmonds has 17 targets on the year. I mean, that's like 4.25 a game. He's caught 16 of those. So I'm sorry, 13 of those. So I mean, he's a nice PPR floor. But and also another thing is Kenyan Drake. If you look at his carries, they've been just going down and down and down each game. He hadn't been as effective, it seems, each week.
That team is a mess. We're going to talk about teams that are a mess. The Cardinals are a mess.
What the hell is up with Christian Kirk and them not being able to get him involved either?
Well, that's the thing. I said something about this the other day. It's like the teams, it's like they got Hopkins and Hopkins is going, but the team is losing. Then you look at, you know, the Panthers the last couple of years. They have McCaffrey. They get McCaffrey going. The team is losing. Like you have to. It's a team sport. Like we get it, but like people are like, "Oh, Larry Fitzgerald sucks," and blah blah. I'm like, has he even been targeted? Have they even tried to make Larry Fitzgerald a thing this year? I don't know. Kenyan Drake, his number one skill last year when he came in was catching passes. They haven't even tried to let him catch a pass, you know. And meanwhile, you know, people are. I mean, Lamar. I mean, what's his face? Murray can't even really throw to anybody but Hopkins. I mean, he literally can't. If Hopkins isn't open, he's just running, and it's just like. That his team doesn't look good. I mean, it's very boring to watch. They got beat by the Lions. The Lions are terrible. Like, you got beat by the Lions.
The Lions are terribly coached.
Yeah. So I don't know what to think about this. I mean, I need to see Kyler do more with his arm and less with his legs, personally. And I need to see him get guys on his team involved, not named DeAndre Hopkins. Like, that's his job. Like, he needs to get the ball going. He needs to get his teammates going. They need to win games. And if he's just throwing to Hopkins and he's just running, I mean, we're going to see more of the same. Low-scoring games where they lose. And low-scoring games are bad for your running backs, too. I mean, you need guys involved. You need to get close to the end zone so Chase Edmonds can catch his touchdown, you know. So I would like to see – I'm going to be watching that game closely today to see – defensively and offensively, if they're making any adjustments as we enter the second, you know, kind of quarter of the season. It's week 5. Like, if they're not making adjustments, then there's legitimate concern for the rest of their season, in my opinion. So
yeah, I agree. That's good analysis, and I like what you said about the Panthers and CMC getting too involved in the.
DJ Moore, same thing too. It's like, it's just like now that those guys are just kind of getting relegated, one because of injury and one because of the new coaching staff. Guess what? They're winning.
Yeah,
I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Mike Davis has now got them to 2-0.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's they're
playing as a team. Yeah, they're playing as a team. It's some you see that some coaches do funnel too much to one guy like. And I just don't. That's why the Chiefs are so good. I mean, they have so many guys that they'll get involved. I mean, Demarcus Robinson could have 100 yards almost as easily as Tyreek Hill could have 100 yards. I mean, so it's guess who's not going to have 100 yards? Christian Kirk. Guess who's not going to have 100 yards?
The Patriots have a million nobodies, but they'll still give them the ball.
Exactly, and they'll still end the week with a lot of offensive scoring. So. All right, well, it looks like some of our followers or folks on here are dwindling down. We have one last question, and then we'll probably close it out for the day so we can all go adjust our lineups and eat junk food and do all the fun stuff you do before football. So, Julian Love or Trey Flowers? What do you guys got? That's the last question.
Probably not going to be Julian Love,
Mm-mm.
just because, like I mentioned a little earlier, he only got 18 snaps last week. So Trey Flowers, I mean, and that's going to be a matchup where they're going to be throwing a lot. I think that's going to be a shootout. That's the highest over under on the week is that Minnesota Seattle game, 57.5 points. So I think Trey Flowers is going to be tested quite a bit, and he could have a decent game.
Agreed. I'm going Trey Flowers there too. What do you think, Steve? Agreed?
Yeah, I'm agree. Trey Flowers, Julian Love's just not getting snaps.
Cool. Well, IDP Army, for the 10 of you that are still hanging out, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you coming in. Hopefully our advice helps you win some of your matches. Nothing is guaranteed, but we did our very best, I know. So
it's your team. You make the call. We're just trying to
we're just trying to help you out just a little bit, And don't worry, I mean, I'm not 4-0 in almost any of my leagues. I'm sure they aren't either. I mean, it's fantasy football. You put your best foot forward. Like my son's kindergarten teacher says, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
That's right. That's I love that. It's good
stuff. Start your studs.
Start your studs. Start whoever's best.
Yep. Start your best players. All right, guys. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming on, Adam. Jared, wherever you're at, hopefully you're golfing under par and having a good day, man. So we'll see you next week. Hasta la vista.